Listen properly.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another pot stirring, gut cropping episode of the Voetsak Files. Thanks for joining me again. First of all, just a reminder if you'd prefer to rather jump straight to the main story, please feel free. You can check where it starts on the timeline I have posted. But I promise everything preceding the main story are really worth sticking around for. Now, before we dive into today's explosive subject, and before we hand out today's Empty Skull Award, here's a quick reminder. I share a short excerpt from one of my books in every episode. If it leaves you wanting more, you can order a digital copy, a PDF copy of either book by simply emailing me at author.skulk@gmail.com. They're only 75 Rand each. That's, listen properly, 200 Rand less than retail, or only 125 Rand for both. And every cent goes to the animal charity I support, which feeds and cares for feral fur babies who are completely dependent on human compassion to survive. A special thanks to the viewers who have ordered copies. I really appreciate it. And yet another quick reminder, this stunning, beautiful cap I'm wearing is also up for grabs. And every cent goes to the same worthy cause. Perfect for anyone who enjoys a bit of controversy and the occasional feather ruffling. They are available in blue, light grey, dark grey, and brown. Only 175 Rand each, plus 50 Rand for delivery via the courier guy lockers. Want one? Send me an email and I'll sort you out. So, without further ado, here is this week's excerpt from my second book.
We've received credible intelligence indicating that the Iranians have dispatched a ship to acquire essential components from the South Africans, components crucial for completing their first nuclear bomb. Although the apartheid government officially ended its nuclear weapons program in 1989 and dismantled its 6 nuclear bombs, our confirmed intel suggests that the stored components are now being sold by the ANC government to the Iranians. Additionally, the Iranians are obtaining a significant portion of the weapons-grade uranium that South Africa extracted from those dismantled nuclear weapons. You can imagine the threat this poses to us in Israel. We know they will use it, and they might use it against Israel.
This is scary shit, Larner. But what can we do? I assume we're still committed to preventing Iran from getting a bomb?
Absolutely, Hunter. And that brings us to the operational plan in place to deal with this threat.
What are you saying?
Before I shock you to your core, let me give you some background. We started tracking the Iranian military cargo ship when it left Bandar Abbas, where the Iranian Southern Fleet is based. When they turned off their transponder, we knew these fuckers were up to something. But our spy satellites kept tabs on it the entire journey. It's docked at Simonstown Naval Base. Our agents observed 5 containers being loaded onto it last night. We know those containers hold the components and the uranium, and an Iranian general secretly arrived on a military aircraft that landed at Waterkloof Air Force Base 3 days ago, likely to finalize the deal. Hunter, what I'm about to tell you can't be shared with anyone, I mean it.
No need to emphasize, Larner. I know how to handle top-secret intel.
Good. The threat is clear and present, especially for Israel. They've asked us to deal with it.
Yeah, I bet they're nervous. But how? What are we going to do? Sink the ship?
Hunter, we've got a SEAL team trained for this mission. They're on board the USS Nautilus off the coast of Namibia. They'll intercept the ship tonight once it's in international waters. The SEALs will launch an inflatable speedboat from the Nautilus, keeping it out of sight. They'll approach the target, board the ship, plant explosives, and sink it, making it look like an accident.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that excerpt. I think it's very fitting for what's going on in the world right now, especially in the Middle East. And but you're already emailing me your order. Now then, it's time to award the Empty Skull Award to the biggest empty skull who has truly outdone themselves in recent events. So, without further ado, the Empty Skull Award goes to none other than Squirrel Ramaphosa for bravely declaring that he will pressure the African Union hull to declare Israel a terrorist state. I think Squirrel was in one of his many clown moments again when he thought out this masterpiece of an idea. So that makes me wonder, what exactly would the consequences be if Africa, with many terrorist states of its own, nogal, um, declares Israel a terrorist state? Are they going to ban Israeli citizens from getting tourist visas to Africa? Squirrel, you seem determined to keep on poking the bear. Just be careful that the bear doesn't finally respond and declare this shithole of a country a terrorist state, with the consequences that come with that fitting label. Hell, you have done more than enough to qualify, I would say. All right, now that we've got that out of the way, I want to thank you for the great response on the last episode. I wish I could show all the comments, but I've chosen a few that stood out. Again, if you'd rather jump straight to the main story, feel free. Ma Baker said, the word liberal is an acronym, lacking in basic education. Well, I couldn't agree with you more. I once saw a bumper sticker that absolutely nailed it. It said, liberalism, find the cure. Ricky Tikitavi said, prayers from America. God protect the good people of South Africa. Most of us Americans would love to let you guys come to America. Well, Ricky, thanks for that. It really means a lot coming from an American. Rudolph said, agree 100%. You deserve many, many more subscribers to spread your comment and analysis. Thanks, Rudolph. I hope many take your comments seriously and hit that subscribe button. Odin's Vikings said, sadly, the Freedom Front Plus is on board with the Sustainable Development 2030 agenda and still partaking in the GNU. So I'm losing faith in any hope of political solutions. All right, that's as far as the comments go for today. Please remember, I read every single one, and I really appreciate you taking your precious time to share your thoughts. So please keep them coming. Now, at last you'll say, let's get into today's episode. Something unusual just happened in the United States. The president of South Africa, Squirrel Ramaphosa, traveled to America, but the visit looked nothing like the visit of a head of state. No red carpet, no Secret Service protective detail, no White House ceremony, no bilateral meetings with senior US leadership. In fact, the whole trip looked remarkably similar to the visit of a tourist. Isn't this just further confirmation of the toxic relationship between Washington and Pretoria? Well, let's unpack it. So Squirrel traveled to the United States primarily to attend the funeral of Jesse Jackson. The memorial events took place in Chicago, a liberal bastion, and were hosted in part by the Rainbow Push Coalition. Ramaphosa delivered a tribute to Jackson. On the surface, this is perfectly normal. World leaders often attend funerals of global figures. But what stood out was everything that did not happen during this trip. When a sitting head of state visits the United States, the visit normally includes several well-known diplomatic courtesies. This can include a White House meeting, a formal welcome or protocol reception, high-level diplomatic talks, security coordination, and official escort arrangements. But during this visit, none of those things were publicly reported. There were no announced meetings with senior US officials, no White House engagement, no visible diplomatic program beyond the funeral events. For a president, that's highly unusual. Now, here's where things get interesting. Relations between the United States and South Africa have been rock bottom for some time now. Several issues have contributed to this tension. South Africa's cozy relationship with Russia, China, and especially Iran. Disagreements over global conflicts. Political rhetoric directed at President Trump's policies. And ongoing diplomatic friction between the two governments. against that backdrop, Ramaphosa's low-key visit raises eyebrows. Was the lack of official engagement Washington's way of sending a not so subtle diplomatic message? During the visit, Ramaphosa also made remarks that were critical of President Trump. Very arrogant, I would say. While framed in broader political language, these comments focused on long divided American politics, as if, he's got anything to say about it. And that raises another question. If relations are already rock bottom, is this the time to make comments that are hostile to the mightiest nation in the world, currently in the process of obliterating the number one terrorist nation of the world? Incidentally, South Africa's best bud. Well, not anymore. I would say you can't really be best bud to a heap of rubble, can you? So, another interesting fact. Heads of state obviously travel under specific diplomatic arrangements. This was one without the usual diplomatic warmth. The optics are difficult to ignore. A sitting president visiting the United States, without ceremony, without meetings, without diplomatic engagement. In international politics, what doesn't happen can often say as much as what does. And in this case, many are asking whether Squirrel's quiet trip reflects something much deeper, a relationship between Washington and Pretoria that is more dead than either government wants to admit. Well, considering everything that has happened up to now, I was surprised that Squirrel and his brain-dead Minister of International Relations were even granted visas to set foot on US soil. I had hoped it was maybe granted because a warrant had already been issued for Squirrel's arrest because of his involvement in MTN's bribing of a Taliban terrorist regime that killed many American soldiers. It's going to be interesting to watch how everything is going to play out. But I suspect the end result is not going to be, how shall we say, pleasant for this country. I just want to close off by ruffling a few ANC and EFF feathers. Following the timely demise of the terrorist mass murderer Ayatollah Khamenei, his son was just announced as the new supreme leader of Iran. Well, I must say, I just loved President Trump's reply when asked for his comment on this news, which was blunt and pointed. The president simply replied, "He's not going to last long. I wonder if this is what he meant." Now, I would love to get your take on Squirrel's trip. Please drop me a comment and I will share the best ones in the next episode. And, need I mention, if you haven't already, please like, share and subscribe to help this channel grow and to keep on stirring the pot. So, until next time, please keep safe out there and cheers.